Welcome to this video on the upcoming fight between Jake Paul and Mike Perry, now replacing Mike Tyson in that fight due to, I believe, health concerns for Mike Tyson, so wouldn't be able to attend the fight at the agreed date. May still happen in the future, but Mike Perry obviously standing in on short notice to take this boxing fight. Obviously, Mike Perry being a fighter in the UFC previously, but now has done very well in the bare knuckle boxing scene that is, really amping up and becoming a big thing. Mike Perry is one of the faces of that, and now he's going to fight Jake Paul in a full boxing fight to replace Mike Tyson. So what I think it will be closer. I think this is now a closer fight between the two of them. I think they're both active, they're both fighters, they're still active fighters, so it provides that thing of, look, Mike Perry is able, he has the stamina to survive a few rounds, he's taking big punches, especially in bare knuckle, he's taking cuts and things that could cause a problem. I think with the amount of cuts and stuff you get in bare knuckle, the scar tissue is going to be quite severe only after a few fights. I think you're gonna start seeing that these fighters get a lot more severe scar tissue than boxing and UFC, just because they're cutting, because the knuckles fully hitting their face instead of a padding before the knuckle. I think it's gonna be a competitive fight, but I do think Jake Paul still wins this. I think Jake Paul's I would suspect the bigger guy naturally, definitely taller, and I think he's just got it. I think he just acclimatised to boxing. Mike Perry's coming in from the UFC to bare knuckle now to fight with gloves again. I think that's going to be a problem for him. I think it's just that thing, his punches aren't going to do as much damage, and it's that sort of thing, you punch someone, you expect them to go down, they're not going down, and Jake Paul's going to be the bigger guy in this fight. Physically, I think he's just naturally the bigger guy, so will balloon up more. I do think Mike Perry's got a few problems with, especially, I think it's going to be a good fight. I think Mike Perry will have some success, I think, early. I think he will go out there and do some things that will catch Jake Paul, and I think mainly catch the audience attention. Like, this is actually a bit more competitive fight than we thought. Overall, though, I think Jake Paul stays calm and gets it done. I don't see how he doesn't. I do think it's going to be difficult for Jake Paul to knock him out. He's active. He takes big blows anyway. There's more from Mike Tyson. There's a lot of unknown to now. Look, we know he takes punches. He survives them, especially in bare knuckle. I don't think Jake Paul gets him out of there, but I do think he wins a decision in this fight. I think it would be hard for him not to. But what do I think? Will the Mike Tyson fight ever happen again? I think it could do. I think that could happen in the future, but I think it's going to be a bit odd for it to happen now. I think there's less, day on day, there's going to be less and less people, the hype for that fight, I think, after this, whereas the health concern with Mike Tyson, I think it just brings down the amount of people who want to see it, just due to the fact that it just gives you that sort of feeling of, look, Jake Paul's just going to do something here. And you want it to be competitive. That's why people want to tune in. They want to see Mike Tyson of old, and if there's a health concern in camp, that's a bit of a scary worry. If this fight would go on in the future, it could do. If he gets cleared, if it's something that can be fixed, and fair enough. But look, Mike Perry will be a more competitive fight, and I think. But the thing is, who does Jake Paul fight next? No one knows. Is Mike Tyson a big enough name? Yes, of course he is. And does he have to go back there to try and get that name? Maybe. I think for money wise, I don't know who else he fights who's got a big enough name who will actually fight him. But because the big names are in professional boxing, they're already there, or they're retired and don't want to fight. They don't need to fight anymore, and it's a bit more like that pool of people that Jake Paul actually can fight is diminishing. There's only so many times you can, outbox a UFC fighter before people go, look, we've seen that. We want to see you against more professional boxers. And I think that'll be a challenge to actually get professional boxers to do it. Just because they're looking at their career. If I get beaten by Jake Paul, that just destroys all credibility for my boxing career. There's going to be a problem there. There's only so many times. And also, he fought Tommy Fury, who in a sense isn't that high level of professional boxer, but he beat him. That's the problem. He's sort of in a space where he can't go higher in sort of professional boxing criteria, but he can't really go lower because people have already seen it and they're bored of it. So I think Jake Paul's sort of going to struggle to find opponents sooner or later. But that's one for another day. I do think he wins a decision against Mike Perry. Please let me know what you think in the comments down below. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.